Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Lee David Kiter. So hello to everyone out there. I wanted to share with you a really interesting subject. I want to talk about going through a late transition in my early 40s basically. So I'm really excited about sharing my journey, with you, going through a transition in my early 40s and what has been sort of happening to sort of get here to this place that I'm in right now. So it's basically a midlife transition. So I made a decision with what I am looking forward to regarding the future and what's presently happening now, and I look at transitioning today as a subject that is become more open, should I say, and it's more talked about in society, within the media. When I was on this morning show, there was only 12 people in the UK that had gone through what I had been through some few years back, so I was number 13. But anyway, in any case, there are a lot more resources out there now. So good education to the younger generation that are coming out as transgender, or being their authentic selves, should I say, being able to find the tools to help them through their transition and what it is they're going through. And when I was sort of growing up, I did not have access to those resources. So let's talk about last few decades, ago when I was born. I was born in the late 60s. So, by the way, here's a picture I want to show you, basically. I'm going to show you a picture of me. This is a picture of me when I was small. And if you can see the top picture there, that was a picture of me holding a ball when I was about 2 or 3 years old. And then you can see a picture of me there with my younger brother at the bottom now. How much of a boy I was. I always wore trousers, I never wore a skirt. And there's a picture of me in the top right hand corner there. You can see me playing on the floor with cars. I was about 15 years old there. And see if I can find another picture, because you can see I always loved the ball. So, but anyway, you can see that I'm very cute as a kid. So basically, when I was 2 years old, looking at me, you see how cute I am and stuff. So the best pictures of me are my early childhood years when I was 2 years old, like basically how cute I was. But saying that, you can see I look like a boy by the way I dressed, and looking at those pictures, just a cute little boy. I never saw myself as a little girl. So then, going back to that, I remember this inner feeling inside of frustration, of sadness, of my inner being never really could understand why I felt that way, and lived a life early on feeling that way. Predominantly my childhood was, should I say, playing with boys. I played football. I'd go and get dirty with the boys. I'd go and climb trees. I did it all. I just, in terms of playing, I became sad though, going through puberty. I see boys taking off their shirts, and then I thought to myself, why can't I do that? But as a girl, you can't. And growing up, going into puberty from a young age, growing up, I always loved playing football, and I wanted to do what the boys wanted to do, because that's how I felt. So I could not do that, and I felt frustrated, I felt anger towards that, and I never knew how to deal with those feelings inside of me. I would always should I say, dressed as a boy. I remember having to wear a dress, and I was in Milan in Italy, and I wasn't allowed in the church unless I wore a dress, and I was in company with people. So I had to go and put on a dress, and I remember it feeling so wrong at the time. I just wanted to crawl out my skin, basically, and I felt alien, you know, to a point where, you know, I just knew it's called gender dysphoria, and it's a sense of anxiety going through it. It makes you feel depressed and uncomfortable, and I'll talk about how I coped with dysphoria, sort of, you know, I grew up. See, I did not have the resources. I'm the eldest sibling of 3 children, and, you know, basically my parents went through a divorce, and at an early age my mother left the home, family become dysfunctional, and at the time, you know, with transgender, it was not out there. So in this case, like, the resources were not there, they were not available, there was no parental support growing up, so I knew there was something not right with me, and I went on to, should I say, going on into my later years. Well, I got myself educated, I got myself a career, should I say, but I was looked upon as a lesbian growing up, and but did not feel, you know, comfortable in a relationship with women. I'd had many relationships with women. I mean, they weren't lesbian, they were straight. They had children, and I felt, you know, like a boy in a foreign body. So I transitioned basically when I was 41, and how I discovered I was transgender was because I met this woman, and her mother had a friend called Michelle, and basically Michelle was a trans woman that was fully complete, and basically the light bulb just lit in my head after a lifetime of suffering with a gender identity crisis, should I say. And after a long discussion with my girl, I would discuss about the past, my experiences, you know, how I felt, how I discovered what transgender meant, and it was through meeting Michelle that I set out on my journey and quest, should I say, to discover more about myself. And, you know, I'm forever grateful for that moment, because that really, really did help me, and I was enlightened by that, should I say, in a way whereby, you know, the bulb just went on in my head, and I thought, this is me, only it was the other way round. And so I went on a quest. I started reading books, I associated with like-minded people like myself, I researched, I watched documentaries, I looked into the history, into Stonewall, just about everything, right down to, you know, looking at transgender that's been around for centuries. I'd even watched RuPaul on Netflix, which I thought was really interesting, because, you know, programs, documentaries like that are real life. When you see how people behave, their actions and their feelings and their experiences and what they're going through. So it's based on real life. So, you know, that really, really helped me a lot, watching documentaries, any kind of documentary, whatever it is like that, or anything, to trans people, whatever. You know, I'd watch videos and I'd basically educate myself with the topic. So those watching this video right now, if you're questioning your gender identity, or, for example, that you might feel that you're transgender, or even helping someone in your family that may be transgender, because I've come across people going out there as an advocate, meeting parents and people that have come in to a charitable organisation, and they're going through something right now with their kids. I know people around me right now that have children that are now going through this while their child is going through those issues of being possibly transgender or whatever identity they're going for right now. So there's lots of resources out there basically, so I'd recommend that you read a book. Now this book is by a Dr. Vitale, and this book, the title is called The Gendered Self, which I feel will answer a lot of the questions that many of you may be asking. Since the gender spectrum is so wide, I think it's going to be very helpful for people like myself or like you or whatever that's going through transgender. So Dr. Vitale mentions transgender, and she talks about, you know, how it starts off as early as before you was born, you know, and I spoke about this on other podcasts, and I even mentioned this when I went on to This Morning show on ITV, how I felt that it was genetic, okay, which has been proven by scientists and so forth. I mentioned this, okay. Now she explains, and this is profound, okay, she explains that, which makes sense, it made perfect sense to me when I found out a long time ago, that before birth, when the mother becomes pregnated, your brain develops in different stages, and basically in the pregnancy, which is different, which is, shall I say, different from your sex organs. So because of that, the hormones are entering in and out of the fetus. And when the brain is developing in different stages, the hormones need to be at a perfect place. So it's about synchronization. The levels need to be perfect when they go into the brain, basically. So to either feminize it or masculinize it. Now, the brain, and if that harmony does not happen perfectly, should I say, then you end up as a child with a brain mapped with the gender that is opposite from the sex that you was born with, basically. So it really did switch on the light for me. It made perfect sense. So it fully explains it, and I felt enlightened straight away that I just, boom, straight away I come to a decision. That was it, you know. And then right away, actually, and then I had support with my girl with, you know, going to attend a doctor, GP, straight away. And then from that, I sought therapy and started the process, and I found support. And then I started, you know, getting around local support groups, meeting other people, so in the area and so forth. So in summary, within a year, I started taking shots of tea, basically. So I wasted no time with that. And then, you know, so I've been never so happy. So I appeared on another TV show after I fully completed with my mother, Michelle. And, you know, I've never been so happy with my identity, being true to who I am, being true to myself with who you are. And that's what you need to do out there, being true to yourself, being true to who you are, and being able to do a lot of research, speaking to other people, getting involved with local groups, watching documentaries, using all the resources, using everything around you, because I didn't have it in my, you know, coming from a different generation. Your generation now, you have it all out there. It's more out there now in society, it's more open. So I am now embracing, shall I say, all that's here. So with my first book, The Inner Child of Lisa talks about me going through a gender identity crisis for the last 40 years. So my birth name is Lisa. So everyone has a story to tell, and I had a lot more than that to deal with, basically. In the second book release that's coming out this month, December 2021, this is called Transmangelic, the second book that's coming out. And this talks about going through trauma and abuse and the road to recovery, So it's a continuation of the first book, and it's non-fiction, the same as the first book, so that's a true story, and it talks about me being in a dark place, and you know, after the road to recovery. You know, the first book is intertwined with the angels, and it's intertwined with paranormal events, being in that dark light. I went into a profound spiritual awakening. Not just had a light switched on, I had more than that going on around me, basically. You know, when you read the book, you'll see how much it has an impact on people, from the reviews that I've got from people reading the book, basically. So with the second book, it's also intertwined with spirit, and it's, you know, it's my life's purpose here. You know, I've had a bit of a calling, should I say, to basically share with you, as part of the platform, this story that I'm talking about now. And with that, saying that it's not only about the transition part, but it also speaks on many other levels with the experiences that I've gone through. So it talks about the law of attraction, manifestation, and the healing process I've had to go through, and the tools that I've used to heal with everything else that's happened. And it's part of the platform because there's a documentary film about to be released next year. So this is all part of the platform. It's going on national TV. So it's going to be out there. It's in the second book. It's going to be out there anyway. Because when I looked at the patterns in my life, you know, the inner child of Lisa, not only going through a gender identity crisis, being a trans man, but also all the other events and experiences that took place as well. So it's on different levels. So basically I had a bit of a calling. I was guided to get this book written and to get it out there and to help people. So saying that, go through the healing process, to the tools that I've used. It speaks about gender identity. It's intertwined with gender identity, like transgender and the LGBTQ, because I'm an advocate for the LGBTQ. So basically I'm a fierce voice here and a motivational speaker, and I've come out now with this story, with this what it is I'm here to share with you regarding my journey, and how basically it can help you out there with your journey and what it is you're going through with your experiences and your gender and so forth. So then, you know, your life has you know, removed all limited beliefs in order to attract and change your life. So that's the second book that's coming out, the title being Transmangelic. So if you go to www.leedavidcarter.com, you'll see the platform website, and you'll see that all the YouTubes, and if you start to subscribe, press the subscribe button and start following the podcast, you'll see everything come out with the books and everything, the story itself, and you know, how you can change your life and all the issues that you need to know to deal with gender, transgender, going through any kind of identity crisis, basically. So all the podcasts are being shared out there, so, you know, if anyone with any comments or suggestions, you know, just put it on below, and I will get back to you with feedback as soon as I can. And, you know, the purpose here for me is to educate and help others, and also to educate out of ignorance, and to bring positive light to others on their journey, and to transcend that into the world. So I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to say the past is history, the future is a mystery, and so now you live in the time now moment. So all I want to say is enjoy and stay in the present moment, and most of all, to enjoy and be happy in the present moment. Enjoy it. And I'm going to sign off to all of you out there now. Anyone that's watching this video, thank you very much. I just wanted to say love and light, namaste, and I'll speak to you all soon, and keep a lookout for those podcasts. Speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.